This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
Give me a hot minute. I said, give me a hot minute. I'm ready. I got that city strut, city look. That's what I like. No one ever knows that we've been up all night. I got that city strut, city look. Don't put me slap. I'm the mood, I'm the bit, baby. Fits in the bag. I got that city strut, city look. I got that city strut, city look. Hot, hot, that city strut, city look. I got that city strut, city look. Hot, hot. Now I ain't rushing, I'm a baddie. Take this heat.
Following program is rated MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, you already know that. It does not matter who the host is. What has always mattered is who the listeners are. Anyways, today is Friday, January the 23rd of 2026. And we are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM, and then hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there.
You're being infiltrated. Radio Big.
Yep, infiltration in Radio Big is the way that it's going, the way that it's behaving, the way that everything is happening. So how are you? How's the last 24 hours or so been? Hopefully you've been up to a good time, having some good stuff doing and all that kind of fun stuff. You know, the stuff that you would normally say. Hoping that people are having a good week type of thing. So it is Freeform Friday, so let's talk about this. Our show normally consists of safety in the news and safety. That's kind of how we go about everything that we do around here, but not today. Today, we offload everything that we have going on. Nope, everything. So here's what happens. Throughout the week, we get a whole bunch of news stories. And then we try to play catch up with all of these news stories. And I try to give you everything that's going on. And then what happens is from that particular portion on, as we play catch up, there are some news stories that don't exist. So that's what ends up taking place. And then we are going, okay, how are we going to do this? How are we going to play catch up? So there you go. So with that being said, Freeform Friday, we'll talk about everything. We'll probably do some news from our friends from Feature Story News. There is no main story, quote unquote, today, but we have everything going on. So if you're good with it, I'm good with it too. So instead of starting off with our traditional of giving you the Feature Story News aspect, we'll start off with a week in review because that's kind of what we do here. And then outside of that as well, if you want to interact with the show, all you have to do is go to callinradio.com. Let me say that once again. All you have to do is go to callinradio.com. Once you get there, audio, video, and text messaging are the options of the things that you get to do if you're so inside to do that. And then we kind of go from there. So if you're good to go, I will start off with our week in review seg. So let's do that right now.
Former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton are now on the verge of a major legal battle.
The motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
Both Republicans and Democrats voting to hold the pair in contempt of Congress for failing to appear for a deposition as part of an investigation into the actions of convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
So the FCC, Karen, is warning TV broadcasters that daytime and late night talk shows must give equal time to opposing political candidates to Republicans, not just Democrats.
President Trump heading home from Europe, insisting he got what he wanted. But tonight, his framework deal on Greenland, anything but clear. This morning, he gave different answers on whether the U.S. will now control Greenland as he demanded.
Mr. President,
he told me yes.
Greenland? Will you have control of all of Greenland, Mr. President?
But about an hour later, he said this.
Does this ultimately mean that the U.S. will ultimately acquire Greenland?
Well, I don't know if I can say that.
Vice President Vance on the ground in Minneapolis saying he wants to turn down the temperature and support federal law enforcement officers.
That monster storm that with every update to the forecast grows more dangerous and more wide-reaching. To give you a sense of the scale, look at this. It is set to sweep across 2,000 miles from Arizona all the way to Maine. A staggering 170 million Americans are in its path, and already 6 states have declared states of emergency.
Get this, Trump announced that he is creating an international board of peace to keep peace around the world. Yeah, and he's charging every country $1 billion to join. I'll take a wild guess who they can make the check out to. Yeah.
Or you can Venmo me.
From our nation's capital, where for the first time since 1870, the second couple, the vice president and his wife, are having a baby. They have a baby on the way. J.D. Vance and his wife, Usha, announced they are expecting a baby in July.
Okay, so that's the weekend review. In case you missed out on what the hell is going on this week, now you know. So there you go. Yeah, we do that on Fridays because, we were trying to play catch up with everything that's going on. So that's kind of really how we kind of make that factor. So we give you everything that we have news clip wise. Some people go, hey, there's some montages there, some monologues from some of the late night shows. Yeah, we tie them all in together. That way you can take a listen to what exactly is going on. So if you're good to go, I'm good to go. I have my friends from Feature Story News waiting right there that they're saying, hey, let's do this. And I'm like, hey, if you want to do it, I think it's time to. So let's do that. Get you started with some industry news stuff, and we'll get you into our news cycle right now.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in Hong Kong, I'm Laura Westbrook. One of India's biggest drug makers, Sun Pharmaceuticals, says it has received regulatory approval to make and sell the generic version of the popular weight loss drug Wegovy in the country. It plans to launch its version once the patent on the active ingredient expires in March. Rebecca Bunden reports from Mumbai.
Indian generic pharmaceutical manufacturers are racing to enter the growing weight loss market in the country ahead of the patent expiring. Obesity is a growing problem in India, leading to rising cases of diseases, including diabetes. Sun Pharmaceuticals' regulatory green light for the generic semaglutide comes after India's Dr. Reddy's Laboratories earlier this week said it received an approval to manufacture and sell the generic version of the diabetes drug Ozempic, which as an appetite suppressant is used for weight loss. Rebecca Bunden, Mumbai.
The European Union's top diplomat says that relations between the US and the EU have taken a blow following President Donald Trump's recent tariff threats. European leaders have held an emergency meeting to discuss how to navigate the transatlantic relationship and the US demand for a strong security presence in the Arctic. William Denslow reports from Brussels.
The use of military force and threat of sanctions are seemingly off the table, but European leaders have gathered to discuss what officials call the new normal in transatlantic ties. Top of the agenda, Greenland and US President Donald Trump's plan for a more secure Arctic region. Denmark's Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen has reiterated that US acquisition of its territory is a non-starter.
We are a sovereign state.
French President Emmanuel Macron said European unity helped restore calm after a volatile few days in EU-US relations. But his message to fellow European leaders is to remain vigilant.
Revised growth figures show the US economy expanded by 4.4% in the third quarter of last year, its fastest clip in 2 years. The strong numbers defy analysts' expectations of a slowdown linked to the Trump tariffs and stubborn inflation. Tony Waterman has more.
Third quarter GDP was revised up slightly from 4.3% to 4.4%. Much of the growth is being powered by strong consumer spending, which accounts for 70% of U.S. GDP. But if you zoom in on the details, this is very much a story of diverging fortunes. High-income households are almost single-handedly driving spending, fueled by record-high stock markets and investments, while middle and lower-income consumers are tightening their belts, weighed down by mounting debt and higher prices on necessities like food. Still, the Trump administration predicts strong growth this year. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says it could be as high as 5%. Tony Waterman, Washington.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks, looking at the end of this extraordinary week at the damage done to the transatlantic relationship by President Trump's now shelved threats to use tariffs against NATO allies because of their opposition to his demands to acquire Greenland. Whatever happens next with regard to Greenland, and it is far from clear that the current diversion of focus onto the Arctic Circle will hold, it has been a terrible week for an alliance that has kept the peace in Europe for 80 years. President Trump and many of his top officials were berating European heads of government and also Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney while they were at the World Economic Forum in Davos this week. John Clark is the former head of international affairs at the European Commission and the former head of the EU's delegation to the World Trade Organization.
This is being called the biggest rift in the West alliance since Suez. I don't think we're going to see a fully blown trade war, at least not yet. I think the EU has shown that for once it's not prepared to accept the bullying approach that Trump has got away with up to now. The EU grew up quite a lot in Davos and learned that you don't achieve things by appeasement.
Canada, meanwhile, is once again in the Trump administration's crosshairs, with Mark Carney being personally admonished by President Trump to moderate his tone after he said the transatlantic alliance has reached the point of rupture. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
The main news again. Trilateral talks on ending the war in Ukraine are set to take place in the United Arab Emirates between officials from Ukraine, Russia and the US. President Donald Trump says a US naval armada was heading towards the Gulf region, maintaining pressure on Iran. Japanese Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi dissolves parliament ahead of a snap election on February 8th that she hopes will translate her strong public polling into a bigger majority in the lower house. And that's the latest feature story news. Laura Westbrook reporting.
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet, completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
Well, you might be like me and heard all these terms and we're not 100% sure on what they meant. Things is mining, blockchain, the Internet of Things. Well, I will tell you, we here at Safety FM have partnered up with a company that will explain this to you and will also have conversations to inform you on how you might have the potential of making passive income by being involved with this. All you need to do is go to safetyfm.com/iHub. They'll discuss blockchain. What exactly is mining? What is cryptocurrency? And what is the Internet of Things? To find out more information, go to safetyfm.com/iHub. That's safetyfm.com/iHub. And don't forget to mention that Jay Allen sent you.
Radio Big. Streaming 24/7 at radiobig.fm. We are radio. We are sarcasm. We are both combined. Radio Big.
Oh, yes, a combination of things is always an important aspect as we are talking, no doubt about that. So how are you? How are things? How are things going? You know, it's things fantastic. So there you go, there you go, there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of the world of the multiverse. So let's start talking right away about some of the stuff that is going on. I need to stop hitting the microphone or trying to move it in the middle of me talking. So let's start talking right away. Should we start off with let's do the viral thing. Let's do the viral thing. A TikToker off the cuff Dr. Pepper jingle went from her phone video to a primetime fast creator. Romeo posted a homemade Dr. Pepper baby. It's good and nice. The theme song in late December, tagging the soda brand, half joking about turning it into a deal. The clip exploded. More than 42 million views, 5 million likes, and caught Dr. Pepper's attention. Along with a pile of brands and sports teams piling on the comments, Dr. Pepper didn't just like it, they used it. On January the 19th, the company rolled an official 15-second commercial built around Romeo's jingle, crediting her by name and featuring its original diet and zero sugar cans. The ad even aired in the 2026 college football playoff national championship game. Romeo celebrated the moment on TikTok, calling it a big win, thanking fans while Dr. Pepper praised the 23-hour standing ovation. Okay, 23-hour. Take a listen to this.
I have a theme song for Dr. Pepper, and it goes like this. Dr. Pepper, baby, is good and nice. Doo-doo-doo.
So there you go. There's what she originally did. Here's the Dr. Pepper version.
Dr. Pepper, baby, is good and nice. Doo-doo-doo. Dr. Pepper, baby, is good and nice. Dr. Pepper, baby, is good and nice.
So there you go. Dr. Pepper is good and nice. I guess you never know what's going to hit the trends of the ends of the ends. No doubt about that as we are talking. So there you go. Okay, so let's get into some more serious news because that's what we do around here. A jury acquitted former Uvalde, Texas school police officer Adrian Gonzalez for his response to the Robb Elementary shooting in May of 2022. After more than 7 hours of deliberation, the jury returned a not guilty verdict on Wednesday evening. on all 29 counts of child endangerment. As a verdict was read, Gonzalez bowed his head as he heard it. Several of those sitting in the gallery started crying. He hugged his lawyers, shook hands, and appeared to be tearing up. Gonzalez was among the first officers to respond to a mass shooting in which 19 students and 2 teachers were killed. It took 77 minutes before law enforcement mounted a counter-assault to end the rampage. Prosecutors alleged that Gonzalez did not follow his training and endangered 19 students. Yes, 19 students as he was going down the concept here, who died, and the additional 10 surviving students. Adrian appeared on World News Tonight yesterday. Here's what he had to say.
I did the best that I could with the information I was getting.
Do you feel you're being made a scapegoat?
When the videos came out and started playing, yes, I realized that, they handpicked me. They had an excuse for everybody else. We don't know when. We don't know where, but it's going to happen again. This is a struggle for me, for my family, to get up and leave. It's hard. Every day when I go to work, I pray for them. I pray for them and their families, and not just them, but the community,
So there you go. A lot of stuff going on there. I can't even fathom what someone must be going through in regards of even having that conversation. No doubt about it. Just think about the horrific things that occurred on that day, and then all of a sudden this is what's taking place. So there you go. Okay, let's continue talking about some other things. Let's get into some odd stories, because that's what we kind of do as we're going down the path here. A Florida man strikes again. So WTF, welcome to Florida. Florida man strikes again, and this time it's for beef. A surveillance video from a supermarket shows a guy strolling up the high-end meat case, grabbing a $100 cowboy steak and casually stuffing it down his pants like it's no big deal. Store owner Phil Einhorn says that he was stunned, especially since the suspect also allegedly snagged a bottle of wine. The would-be meat bandit was spotted later by an employee on break and gave the goods back when police were called. Then bolted before officers arrived. The steak made it. The steak made it home, and the thief did not. So there you go. I don't know. So once you have somebody stuff a steak like that, what do you do? So there you go. That's not a pocket, it's a meat locker. When you want dinner and compensation short is one trip. Sir, this is a grocery store, not a rodeo. He didn't shoplift, he cowboyed it. I don't know. It's weird. I have never gotten to the point that I went into a store that I was like, I really need this. I need this. And $100 piece of steak, out of all things to take, this is what you're going with. So I don't know. It's kind of a weird one, that is for sure. So there you go. There you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of the world there, that as we are talking. Let's continue talking about some other things that are going on inside of the world. A 28-year-old woman in California is in custody after police says that she stole a Cisco semi-truck and trailer right out of under its driver while wearing a shirt and absolutely nothing else. Hey now. Cops say that the incident happened outside of a True by Hilton in Manteca, where the driver was unloading food. The truck was turned off and the key was in his pocket. But police say that the woman climbed into the cab, found a spare key inside of a bag, and took off. The driver realized that something was wrong when the trailer suddenly started moving. He jumped off, suffered minor injuries, and would only watch his rig rolled away. He called 911 as the truck headed south to Highway 99. Police quickly tracked it down. Investigators say that the woman stopped the truck in the middle of the road, jumped out, ignored commands, and ran. A canine was deployed and ended the chase, biting her in the buttocks. In the buttocks? Not on the buttocks? Okay, whatever. Officers say that she was still pantsless at the time of the arrest and also defecated at the scene. Police say that she learned that police later learned that she had an outstanding warrant in Fresno County for burglary and auto theft. She now faces multiple felony charges, including vehicle theft, burglary, and obstruction. No word yet on the plea or attorney. Police are still asking witnesses to come forward. So there you go. So let me just make sure that I understand this. A lady in a t-shirt with nothing else on was able to get inside of a truck why a guy was taking out the product, essentially, let's just call it what it is, making a delivery, had a key in his pocket for the vehicle. Let me tell you a little insider story there. Most of the times, those truck drivers do not take out the key from the ignition. But we'll say that we'll continue the story, how it's written. Took the key out, and then this person was able to find a spare key, and then was able to take off with the truck. That sounds a little bit much, but hey, and then what makes it even more interesting is that as they were pulled over, or not pulled over, I shouldn't say pulled over because that's not the technical term. As they moved forward, they got bitten by a dog to stop doing what they were doing and defecated. I mean, I just want to make sure that I'm following along with everything that's going on. So there you go. Let's talk about some more delivery driver stuff. A London meat heist ended fast and badly for a guy who tried to walk off with it. Police released a video showing Jack Collins, 23, lifting a box containing 120 euros worth of meat, the delivery vehicle from Smithfield Market. His getaway didn't make it past step one. A delivery driver confronted him on the spot and shut the whole thing down. Collins later pleaded guilty to stealing meat and also admitted to possessing a bladed weapon. He also is now waiting to be sentenced in February for bacon. Okay, so some guy steals a cowboy cut of a steak earlier. And then somebody else is stealing bacon. Somebody else is trying to steal off of a Cisco, truck over there. So another food thing. So what the hell is going on now? I mean, we got a lot of stuff with food burglary is what it sounds like. So there you go. So I don't know. Kind of gets interesting as we are talking. Should we get into some serious news or should we kind of continue down this path? Let me give you one more real quick. Should we talk about the prank? Yeah, let's talk about the prank. Wedding guests thought they were about to witness a felony. Instead of they got a sing-along. Bride Robin Ellis Robinson pulled off the Oscar-worthy prank at her reception at Croft Hotel in Darlington by having singers disguised as police officers storm in, claiming they were looking for her dad. The stunt was planned for months in advance, with only her husband, Aaron, and her father, Stephen, in on it. Everyone else was totally blindsided. As the officers entered, Robin loudly protested, "Not on my wedding day," setting the room in panic. Some guests shouted at the cops to leave. One cousin went full courtroom drama, and a few people genuinely thought that the arrest was about to go down. Then the mood flipped instantly when one of the officers grabbed the mic and launched to "All I Need Is Love." The fake cops actually were singers Stephen James and Gary Hodgson, led the room into the melody of songs with guests dancing, clapping, and waving napkins in the air. The prank worked too well, which only made it better. Robin said that she wanted something different from the usual singing waiters and felt that Dad was the perfect suspect. The original Singing Policeman act canceled just days before the wedding, but local company number one Singing Waiters stepped in at the last moment with a police costumes and saved the stunt. The couple who met at an airport 6 years ago also tied the knot in Las Vegas earlier, went full fairy tale for their UK celebration, complete with a 10-foot cake, multiple dress changes, magazines about their lives, and choreographed dances. So there you go. You met at an airport. That's interesting. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on right there as we are talking. So what do you think? So I don't know. Okay, let me give you one more before we get into some more serious stuff here. Let's talk about this. Scientists say that they have cracked a 165-year-old mystery surrounding a towering prehistoric organism called Prototaxis. And the answer is wild. These things stood 26 feet tall and lived for more than 400 million years, long before trees ruled the planet. For decades, scientists assumed that the Prototaxids were some kind of a giant fungus. Turns out, nope. New fossils analyst researchers National Museum of Scotland shows that the Prototaxids were neither plant nor fungus, but part of an entirely extinct branch of life. something that doesn't exist anywhere on Earth today. Researchers studied the fossil's chemistry and anatomy, using advanced techniques, including machine learning, and concluded that this organism represents a completely separate evolution experiment. The fossils were found in Scotland's famous Rhincharge, one of the world's most important early land ecosystems. Scientists say that this proves that life once tried to radically be different in the ways it builds large, complex organisms, and this version didn't make it. The newly studied fossils are now housed in the National Museum of Scotland, and they were also continued helping scientists rethink what life on Earth would look like over deep time. So there you go. Some stuff going on right there as we are talking. So there you go. Some stuff to talk about right there. Okay, so let's continue going down the path here because there is some other things to get to. It sounds that way. Jack Smith testifies at a public hearing about his Trump investigation. If you're really to hear that, Republicans hauled former special Counsel Jack Smith back into Capitol Hill yesterday, putting him in the hot seat at a public House Judiciary Committee hearing that's shaping up to be pure political trench warfare. Smith, who already testified behind closed doors last month, defended his decision to bring criminal charges against President Trump during the 2024 campaign, including cases tied to the 2020 election aftermath that was classified documents found at Mar-a-Lago. Republicans aimed to poke holes in Smith's credibility and motives, while Democrats tried to spotlight Trump's conduct. So there you go. Also, take a listen to this. President Trump is suing J.P. Morgan Chase, accusing the banking giant quietly cutting off his political reason and effectively blacklisting him from financial system. The lawsuit claims that J.P. Morgan and CEO Jamie Dimon debanked Trump and several of his hospitality businesses in early 2021 after decades of banking together and hundreds of millions of dollars flowing through the bank. According to the complaint, J.P. Morgan notified Trump's companies on February the 19th of 2021 that multiple accounts would be closed by April, alleging with no real explanation or appeal process. Trump's legal team argues that the move was driven by political and social pressures following the January 6th Capitol riot and contradicts the bank's public stance on fairness and non-discrimination. The suit also alleges that J.P. Morgan or Dimon helped place Trump and related entities on banking blacklist, normally reserved for customers tied to serious misconduct, effectively freezing them out of across federal regulated banks. Trump is seeking about $5 billion with a B dollars in damages in a jury trial. J.P. Morgan flatly denies the claim, saying that it doesn't close accounts for political reasons, but legal and regulatory risks, and insists the lawsuit has no merit. So there you go. Anyway, so right now what we would normally do on our traditional versionality of the show is I would give you some level of a main story, but not today because it's Freeform Friday.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
Story news in Hong Kong, I'm Laura Westbrook. One of India's biggest drug makers, Sun Pharmaceuticals, says it has received regulatory approval to make and sell the generic version of the popular weight loss drug Wegovy in the country. It plans to launch its version once the patent on the active ingredient expires in March. Rebecca Bunden reports from Mumbai.
Indian generic pharmaceutical manufacturers are racing to enter the growing weight loss market in the country ahead of the patent expiring. Obesity is a growing problem in India, leading to rising cases of diseases including diabetes. Sun Pharmaceuticals' regulatory green light for the generic semaglutide comes after India's Dr. Reddy's Laboratories earlier this week said it received an approval to manufacture and sell the generic version of the diabetes drug Ozempic, which as an appetite suppressant is used for weight loss. Rebecca Bunden, Mumbai.
The European Union's top diplomat says that relations between the US and the EU have taken a blow following President Donald Trump's recent tariff threats. European leaders have held an emergency meeting to discuss how to navigate the transatlantic relationship and the US demand for a strong security presence in the Arctic. William Denslow reports from Brussels.
The use of military force and threat of sanctions are seemingly off the table, but European leaders have gathered to discuss what officials call the new normal in transatlantic ties. Top of the agenda, Greenland. and US President Donald Trump's plan for a more secure Arctic region. Denmark's Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen has reiterated that US acquisition of its territory is a non-starter.
We are a sovereign state.
French President Emmanuel Macron said European unity helped restore calm after a volatile few days in EU-US relations. But his message to fellow European leaders is to remain vigilant.
Revised growth figures show the US economy expanded by 4.4% in the third quarter of last year, its fastest clip in 2 years. The strong numbers defy analysts' expectations of a slowdown linked to the Trump tariffs and stubborn inflation. Tony Waterman has more.
Third quarter GDP was revised up slightly from 4.3% to 4.4%. Much of the growth is being powered by strong consumer spending, which accounts for 70% of U.S. GDP. But if you zoom in on the details, this is very much a story of diverging fortunes. High-income households are almost single-handedly driving spending, fueled by record-high stock markets and investments, while middle and lower-income consumers are tightening their belts, weighed down by mounting debt and higher prices on necessities like food. Still, the Trump administration predicts strong growth this year. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says it could be as high as 5%. Tony Waterman, Washington.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks, looking at the end of this extraordinary week at the damage done to the transatlantic relationship by President Trump's now shelved threats to use tariffs against NATO allies because of their opposition to his demands to acquire Greenland. Whatever happens next with regard to Greenland, and it is far from clear that the current diversion of focus onto the Arctic Circle will hold, it has been a terrible week for an alliance that has kept the peace in Europe for 80 years. President Trump and many of his top officials were berating European heads of government and also Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney while they were at the World Economic Forum in Davos this week. John Clark is the former head of international affairs at the European Commission and the former head of the EU's delegation to the World Trade Organization.
This has been called the biggest rift in the West alliance since Suez. I don't think we're going to see a fully blown trade war, at least not yet. I think the EU has shown that for once it's not prepared to accept the bullying approach that Trump has got away with up to now. The EU grew up quite a lot in Davos and learned that you don't achieve things by appeasement.
Canada, meanwhile, is once again in the Trump administration's crosshairs, with Mark Carney being personally admonished by President Trump to moderate his tone after he said the transatlantic alliance has reached the point of rupture. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
The main news again. Trilateral talks on ending the war in Ukraine are set to take place in the United Arab Emirates between officials from Ukraine, Russia and the US. President Donald Trump says a US naval armada was heading towards the Gulf region, maintaining pressure on Iran. Japanese Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi dissolves parliament ahead of a snap election on February 8th that she hopes will translate her strong public polling into a bigger majority in the lower house. And that's the latest feature story news. Laura Westbrook reporting.
Bringing you information you never knew you cared about. Rated R Safety Show.
Ever catch yourself thinking, I could do this on my own? If you're a safety officer with real-world skills, you don't have to wait for permission to build your freedom. On Saturday, January 31st, I'm hosting Safety Consultant 101, a free live workshop. In 2 hours, I'll help you package your expertise into a service clients will pay for and set pricing boundaries so you don't get stuck doing free advice forever. Register now at safetyconsultant101.com. Let's build your freedom.
You ever hit the wall, burnout, stressed, or just feeling that everything is piling up and thought, yeah, I probably need to talk to someone? The problem is finding the therapist who actually takes your insurance feels impossible at times. That's where Rula comes in. Rula is a healthcare company that makes mental health care easy to access and actually affordable. They partner with over 100 insurance plans, so the average copay is about $15 a session, sometimes even less. With Rula, you get matched with the right therapist for you, not just whoever's available. Their network has over 15,000 licensed professionals, and you can book an appointment as soon as tomorrow. No wait list, no frustrations, just therapy that works with your schedule and your insurance. Thousands of people are already using Rula. to get affordable, high-quality therapy that actually covered by insurance. Visit Rula.com/safetyfm to get started. After you sign up, you'll be asked how you heard about them. Please support our show and let them know that we sent you there. That's RULA.com/safetyfm. You deserve mental health care that works with you, not against your budget. Go to Rula.com/safetyfm right now to get started. That's RULA.com/safetyfm, because you deserve mental health care that works with you, not against your budget.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete signal transmission trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion, the book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all three books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.
Hey there, Jay Allen here with Safety FM, where we just don't talk about safety, we live it. And when it comes to safeguarding your future, there's no better partner than Acorns. This part of the show has been brought to you by Acorns, and a powerful tool that makes saving and investing easier than ever. We all know that investing can feel overwhelming, especially with busy lives and no time to dive into the nitty-gritty of financial markets, but Acorns changes the game. With Acorns, you don't need to be a financial expert or have a hefty sum of money to get started. In fact, Acorns lets you begin with just spare change. All about those small steps, small investments today that can build into something much bigger over time. Acorns recommends that the expert build portfolio designed to fit financial goals. Then it does the heavy lifting for you by automatically investing your money. It's like having a financial advisor in your pocket working around the clock to help your money grow. So why wait? Head over to acorns.com/safetyfm or download the Acorns app and take that first step towards securing your future today. Remember, in the world of safety and investing, small actions today can lead to mighty outcomes tomorrow. Paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides an incentive to positively promote Acorns. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC, and SEC registered investment advisors. View important disclosures at acorn.com/safetyfm. At Safety FM, we're all about making smart decisions on the job and in life. So take control of your financial future. This is Jay Allen reminding you to stay safe, stay smart, and invest in your tomorrow.
More sarcasm than a Mortal Kombat beatdown. Rated R Safety Show.
If you're anything like me, you have certain tendencies to put things off, such as filing taxes, seeing the doctor, working on that home improvement project that you're supposed to be doing, but you just haven't gotten to it. And while most of the times it works out, the one thing in life that you really cannot afford to wait on is setting up term coverage life insurance. You've probably seen life insurance commercials on TV and thought, yeah, I'll look into it later. Well, the answer is no. This isn't something that you can wait for. Choose life insurance through Ladder today. Ladder is 100% digitals, no doctors, no needles, no paperwork. When you apply for $3 million in coverage or less, just answer a few questions about your health in an application. Ladder's customers rate them 4.8 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot, and they've made Forbes' best life insurance in 2021's list. You just need a few minutes and a phone or a laptop to apply. Ladder's smart algorithm works in real time, so you'll find out if you're instantly approved. No hidden fees, cancel anytime, get full refund if you change your mind in the first 30 days. Ladder policies are issued by insurers with long proven histories of paying claims. They're rated A and A+ by AM Best. Finally, Since life insurance costs more as you age, now is the time to cross it off your list. So go to ladder.com/safetyfm today to see if you're instantly approved. That's LADDER life.com/safetyfm. ladderlife.com/safetyfm.
Our station is so big that you don't have to do much to make it work for you. Radio Big.
Give me a hot minute. I said, give me a hot minute. I'm ready. I got that city strut, city look. That's what I like. No one ever know that we've been up all night. I got that city strut, city look. Dopamine slap. I'm the mood, I'm the bit, baby. Fits in the bag. I got that city strut, city look. I got that city strut, city look.
Oh, there you go. 45 minutes past the top of the hour. Yeah, this is still the Rated R Safety Show. Coming to you from our studios in Orlando. By the way, before I forget, because I have not mentioned it this week, now that I think about it. February the 4th, acfs.org. They are putting on their Safety Day here in good old Orlando. I will be there broadcasting, interviewing, all that kind of fun stuff. It is a full day event, no doubt about that. They will have all kinds of speakers ready to tell you exactly what's going on. This one consists of an all-day affair, food, parking, and of course CEUs, because that's important. $50. Find out more information, acfs.org. I recently made a LinkedIn post, I believe, with the last time we were there back in 24, because they didn't do an event in 25, with some of the speeches that were done. So check those out. I believe that if you go through the old catalog, it starts off with episode 664, give or take, somewhere around there. Yep. So would love to see you there. acfs.org Safety Day. Yeah, a few weeks away. Less than a couple weeks away. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on. Anyways, this right here, this is a song called City Strut by Claire Crowther. Songs readily available on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, on Pandora. Oh, you know how it goes around here. I will play music until the end of time if they allow me to do that around here, but you know how it goes. We have some stuff that we have to talk about. But if anything, let me tell you about the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime. And that's about my friends at To Write Love on Our Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help, and we want you to know that people have been where you are now, and things can get better. Healing is possible. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com, To Write Love on Her Arms. Once you get there, you're going to see all kinds of information readily available related to addiction, depression, anxiety, eating disorders, self-injury, suicide, trauma, and grief support, just to name a few. That's TWLOHA.com, To Write Love on Her Arms. Once you get there, I will tell you, click through, take a look around. I always look at it from the standpoint that this could be information for you, this could be information for others, but you never know where exactly this info might take you. I don't say that jokingly. I say that with all the seriousness in the world, because it is so important to have this. There is some weird stigma when it comes to this conversation, and if we don't start talking more about it, that stigma will still stick. So we have to change it. We have to make sure that we're able to talk about depression, mental issues, and things along those lines. TWLOHA.com, To Write Love on Her Arms, will help you start that conversation. So there you go. Let's continue talking about some other news and some world of the weird, because that is kind of what we do around here. Let's talk about some movies that are opening this weekend. Clicker A movie synopsis: a small town musician pushes to carve out a place for herself in a new wave Mexican-American music after a clip of him performing one of his songs. Mercy, let's see, in the near future, a detective stands a trial for murdering his wife. He has 90 minutes to prove his innocence to an advanced AI judge he once championed before it determines his fate. Also, Return to Silent Hill comes out today when a man receives a mysterious letter of his lost love. It is dawn of Silent Hill, as once a familiar town now consumed by darkness. Also, the testament of Ann Lee. Let's see, Ann Lee is the founding leader of Shaker movement, proclaimed female Christ by her followers, depicts her establishment of utopian society and the Shaker. Also, last but not least, in cold light, Ava attempts to straighten out after prison, but her twin is murdered and is being a witness to the shooting. She is forced to run for her life. So there you go. All the movies coming out today. If you're so enamored to take a look around at what is going on real quick. Should I do this? Let's do this. I got this message in real quick. This is a message sent from a 19-year-old, is what it sounds like. Hi, guys. I'm a 19-year-old, and I'm at that point where everyone keeps telling me that these are supposed to be the best years of my life, but most days I feel lost. I'm trying to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing with my future career, school, and relationship, all of it. I see people of my age who look like they already have everything mapped out. And meanwhile, I'm questioning whether I'm even on the right road. Some days I feel motivated and hopeful, and other days I feel behind before I even get started. I don't want to waste time, but I also don't want to rush into something just because I'm scared of falling behind. I worry about disappointing my family and making the wrong choices, or making one day realizing that I played it too safe or too reckless. I guess my question is, how do you know that you're on the right path when you're this young? And if you don't know yet, how do you start calm instead of panicking? I'd really love to hear from listeners who have been through this and made it out there onto the other side, who are still figuring it out too. Thanks for letting me put this out there, Kim. Well, there you go. Some stuff starting off there. CallinRadio.com. Would love to hear your information about that. With that being said, let's bring in some John Smalls and let him tell us about the Motivation Minute.
Courtesy of JaceCaseMedical.com. Today's quote was submitted by me. I read a story about Quentin Tarantino. Quentin was having lunch with one of his hero directors, somebody known for creating beautifully crafted films. And he asked a question. He said, "How do you get your vision onto the screen so perfectly?" The director didn't hesitate. He said, "That's not your job. Your job is to get the vision into the minds of the cinematographer, the lighting director, the set designers, the people who know how to create the mood, the environment, the feeling. Your job is to describe the vision." He said that realization changed everything for him. It allowed him to relax and lean fully into the one thing that he was best at. Our job is to get clear on the vision and get really good at describing it to others who can help.
The Motivation Minute.
This has been the Motivation
Here is
Minute.
the news
I'm John.
on the Rated R Safety Show.
Coming programs at motivationminute.org.
In the hearing, Smith has insisted that charges were brought only because evidence showed Trump willfully broke laws he had sworn to uphold, including over classified documents and efforts to overturn the election results. He told lawmakers that prosecutors concluded Trump caused what happened on January 6th at the U.S. Capitol and then exploited the violence. Jessica Oakley reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
The United States is warning Haiti's political leaders that Washington may respond if they try to cling to power.
A U.S. representative told the UN Security Council that some members of Haiti's Transitional Council appear to be maneuvering to extend their mandate past an early February deadline set to pave the way for elections. Diplomats described Haiti as being at a critical crossroads, with gangs controlling much of Port-au-Prince. Liam White reporting.
Trump has launched a new international body he calls the Board of Peace, signing the plan during a high-profile event in Davos.
The initiative is designed to coordinate reconstruction in Gaza and offer mediation in global disputes, with the White House saying roughly 36 countries have already agreed to join, while invitations went out to about 60 nations in total. Trump also held meetings with several leaders on the sidelines. Lawrence Keller reporting.
Russian President Vladimir Putin says Moscow is still weighing Trump's new peace and reconstruction proposal that emerged after fierce criticism over a separate Greenland plan.
Trump has said his framework for a long-term deal involving Greenland will not rely on military force or new tariffs on European partners that opposed his earlier ideas, but the details of any agreement remain unclear. Joseph Eckerson reporting.
This is the latest news headlines.
Tearing the ass out of you like gas station sushi.
Okay, so there you go. 54 minutes past the top of the hour. Let's start talking real quick about some things that happened back on this date. If I take a look around, back in 1984, Hulk Hogan defeats the Iron Sheik to become the WWF champion. Also in 2025, President Donald Trump issues pardons for 23 anti-abortion activists convicted of illegally blocking access to clinics. That happened back all on this day. Let's talk about real quick. Let's see some celebrity birthdays going on today. Richard Dean Anderson turned 76. Tiffany Amber Thiessen, let's make sure that we call her correctly, by Kelly Kapowski, turns 52 today. And then what else? Things you ought to know. Let's talk about that real quick. A quick jolt rattled the Intermountain West yesterday morning after a 4.7 magnitude earthquake struck about 54 miles outside of Salt Lake City, triggering a shake alert, warning to thousands of Americans. The quake hit at 7:49 a.m. local time and was felt across northern Utah, western Wyoming, and southern Idaho. Cities including Logan and Provo reported light to weak shaking, according to the U.S. Geological Survey, despite the wide reach impacting the region to a nearly 1.5 million people. There was no reports of injuries or property damage. University of Utah Director Keith Copper cautioned that additional shaking could still follow in the days. Also, tonight's Mega Million jackpot is for $266 million, and tomorrow's Powerball jackpot is for $20 million. Let's talk about this. If you did not know this, Microsoft has found what caused the outage that crippled a service like Outlook and Teams. Thousands of users swarmed social media to find out what was happening to their emails during the middle of the business day yesterday. It turns out that Microsoft was experiencing a outage with Microsoft 365 services, with more than 11,000 users reporting issues on tracking site down detector. A statement from Microsoft on X said, "We're investigating the potential issue impacting multiple Microsoft 365 services, including Outlook, Microsoft Defender, and Microsoft Purview." Moments later, the team shared an update saying that they had identified the portion of the service infrastructure in North America not processing traffic as expected. It wasn't long before the tech company updated its users and restored the affected infrastructure to a healthy state and began directing traffic to alternative infrastructure and achieve recovery. So there you go. Anyways, that's going to sum up our time together at the top of the hour. I will be going over to
Radio Big
.fm if you want to come and hang out over there for the next couple hours or so. If not, you can stay here with the likes of Sheldon Primus as he talks about the world of safety consulting. If I can't leave you with some words of wisdom for today, I would love to leave you with this. To get the true measure of a man, note how much more he does than is required of him. And then if I can't leave you with a tidbit of advice, when in need of a quick hot pad, gather a few chopsticks and a roll and set the hot pans and baking dishes right down on them. They will do magic tricks for you when it's all said and done. Anyways, thanks for hanging out with me on this lovely Freeform Friday. I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Safety FM and or Radio Big. The content discussed, including examples of analysis, is provided for illustrative purposes only. It should not be applied as the sole solution in real-world scenarios, as it is based on limited and dated open source information. Any assumptions made during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are not reflective of Safety FM and or Radio Big. No portion of this broadcast, podcast, or radio show may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of Safety FM and or Radio Big. For permission requests, please contact Safety FM or Radio Big directly.
No one ever know that we've been up all night. I got that city strut, city look, don't make me snap.